everyone, it's your girl Leah Love. I am back for another edition, and this one is going to be interesting. It's about Ice Cube and his interview on CNN. It annoyed me to no end, and I want to break it down scene by scene. But first, I want to thank you all so much, especially to my new subscribers. Thank you all for joining me here, and a huge shout out to my old school day one friends who have been here and riding it out with me. I appreciate you. And if you are new to this channel and for some reason just seeing this video in my channel for the first time, to introduce myself, I am LeahLoveOnline. I am a homemaker, I'm a wife, I am a mother. I have been homeschooling for 10 years, and I have recently been red-pilled and seen the light. I am now more conservative leaning and independent thinking, and I have spent months actually researching and not just going by hearsay. And I am a proud conservative, and I've been loving all of the interactions from people from all walks of life, all races, and it's just been a beautiful experience to be free, to let go, and let go of the victim mentality. So let's get to this. So you probably have heard and seen all over the internet this whole issue with Ice Cube having had communications and contact with the Republican Party, exclusively Donald Trump. And it's been a fire all on Twitter. All the Black community has roasted him, as the Black community will love to do, because we do not like free thinkers. We do not like independent thinkers. And anybody that gets themselves out of the crab's barrel or out of the box is all of a sudden a sellout. And it's really incredible because you look at the evidence today between Biden and Trump, and it's a no-brainer. But if you are practicing being the real sellout, which means you're going to vote for Biden, who you know has done nothing for the Black community, has no plan for the Black community for over 47 years, and is the author of the 1994 crime bill, and has moment after moment after moment of real racist commentary, including this year, "You Ain't Black," it's a no-brainer to me. Meanwhile, mainstream media continues to drill Trump on denouncing white supremacy. If you care to research, here on this channel, I have posted 5 minutes worth of several interviews, several speeches where he 100% denounces white supremacy, denounces David Duke, denounces the KKK, and even in his new platinum plan for Black America, he plans to make KKK a terrorist and a hate group, which is, able to be prosecuted under hate crimes. So it is what it is. If you want to be a sheep, do you? But we over here are free thinkers, and it is what it is at this point. I want to share this interview, and I will be giving my take along the way of CNN, which we all know is the political arm or the news arm, deep state news arm of the left. And they are interviewing him. But I want to break down the psychology of it, because that's the thing that Black people who are still under the fog of liberalism are not catching. And I just want to share that, and then we will talk as we go through the interview. So let's get started.
Our next guest is Ice Cube. If you know anything about him, and you probably do, you know he started his career rapping in defiance about police presence and the realities of inner city life.
So here we have stage one. This is PsyOps step one. And though CNN is a complete, genius at doing this, for those of us who actually see through the game, we see the hypocritical nature of this news organization. It's clear as day to us. But for those who are still asleep, they're just listening to this like it's an entertainment channel, like it's some video game or something. And they're just being sheep and following along and allowing the reprogramming to continue to insert itself into their self-conscious. So he sets it up by saying, first, Ice Cube was against police, against the right. He started off his career like that. That sets up a level of distrust in him for what he's doing now. So we want to establish distrust from day one.
And he got political with his songs as well recently during the Trump administration, most recently in 2018. Here's a taste.
Arrest the president. You got the evidence. That is Russian intelligence.
Oh, thank you so much, Cuomo, for pointing out to us his most recent song in 2018, where he was saying something up against the president. So now we are completely debunking his credibility from the outset. Now we're at stage two. It's a political ploy, anti-propaganda ploy, but it's doing its job for the sheep who are mentally programmed already to listen to their masters no matter what they say. And so now we've entered into stage two, and let's keep going.
Now we see a shift. Now he wants to work with President Trump. Here's what the president had to say most recently about Black Lives Matter.
The first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, I said, that's such a terrible term because it's such a racist term. It's a term that sows division between blacks and whites and everybody else, and it's a very bad term for blacks. But they were very angry. It's a Marxist organization.
So first we started off by saying that he was originally anti-police for years. Then we show his clip of a rap song that was saying, arrest Donald Trump, what have you. Then we completely switched subjects to BLM. We're talking about Ice Cube. I don't follow his Twitter or what have you, so I don't know if he is a big supporter of BLM or not. But the question is, we are talking about Ice Cube's contract with Black America and why he is working with the Trump administration and the Trump campaign. We're not talking about BLM here. So why would you bring in BLM and the quote unquote tired narrative of Trump the racist? And can I speak on this to say that little tired quote that they just showed proves nothing. It does not prove that he's racist. He is talking about the fact that for Black people and for all Americans to constantly talk about Black Lives Matter, but no other lives matter, is divisive for this country. All lives matter. Blue lives matter. Chinese lives matter. Latino lives matter. Black lives matter. And that's what we've been saying. But should we say that, oh, you're a white supremacist, oh, you're a sellout? But the fact that Trump says that as if he's only supposed to reserve all of America for Black people only and nobody else matters. Meanwhile, he's done more for the Black community than Obama, than Biden in 47 years, than any other president. Biden still has yet to produce a plan for Black America. Trump already has precedence of following through with what he said he would do. Did Obama put the HBCUs in the White House so that they could stop begging every year? Did Obama release lots of Black prisoners from prison? Did Biden? No. So the thing is that they think you all are so stupid, Black America, that all they have to do is bring up Trump, put a picture of him, put a little quote, and talk about, BLM or his supposed white supremacy, and you guys are triggered. Your little neurons have been fed. You're in hook, line, and sinker, and they put you right back to sleep. And they think you're that stupid because this was totally unrelated to the subject matter at hand. So that is step 3 to get you now triggered. Now that they've discredited Ice Cube, now they get you triggered because of, oh, racism. And as soon as you say Black people, oh, racism, y'all are a bunch of idiots who are supposedly idiots and who just run hook, line, and sinker to your white leaders, your liberals, your newscasters, and you're following along like, oh, okay, yes, leader, yes, master. But you so-called, hate white supremacy, but you follow the same white supremacists who think you are stupid, by the way.
With all that going on, and how the president continues to speak about there being no systemic inequality, it's no shock that Ice Cube got some heat for deciding to work with the Trump administration. He wants to deal with it. I want to understand it. So should you. So here is Ice Cube on Prime Time. Thank you for taking the opportunity, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Chris, your lead-ins are a little misleading.
How so?
This is one of the reasons why I wanted to share with you all this video, because I love that straight out of the box, Ice Cube says after the intro, and thank you for having me, he says, Chris, your intro was misleading. And I love that he said that at the outset. And we need more Black Americans to understand the game that CNN plays and what they've been doing for programming and brainwashing people for one narrative. It's no longer journalism. It is leftist activists who are posing as journalists and who are only pushing one message, which we have heretofore never seen prior to the Trump, or maybe the Obama also, but definitely it went full 180 as of the first Trump candidacy. They are a straight up left wing organization. They do not hide it. But I love that he pointed out that the entire intro was misleading. He's not going to sidestep. He's not going to play like, a shucking and jiving and just so happy to be on CNN. He wants to let him know ASAP that that was wrong and that was foul.
Well, the Platinum Plan is not my plan. I came up with the contract with Black America, and I didn't run to go work with any campaign. Both campaigns contacted me. Both campaigns wanted to talk to me about the contract with Black America. One campaign said, we love what you have, but let's really dig into it after the election. And one campaign said, we love what you have. Do you mind talking to us?
So, what I love is the fact that Ice Cube clarifies. He did not say that he is promoting Donald Trump over Biden. He simply said that he came out with a plan called Contract with Black America, and that both political parties contacted him in hopes of getting, an endorsement, but he showed them his contract with Black America. He showed it to both parties. And he clearly states, though he's being hammered on social media as a sellout and all of that, which Black people love to throw out at independent thinkers, he said he showed the plan to the Biden campaign. The Biden campaign said, oh, this looks really interesting, but let's talk about it after the election. Trump campaign said, oh, wow, this is interesting. Do you mind if we ask you some more questions? Can we get some clarification? Can we discuss, components of your plan? And they immediately worked with him. So that is a clear line in the sand. The same way when they continue to ask the Biden campaign, are they going to pack the courts? Biden clearly said, Americans don't need to know my answer, and I'm not going to answer it until after the election. So there's a lot of things about his campaign that he will not answer until after the election. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has been very clear on answering all questions. And of course, the main one numerous times, do you denounce white supremacy? Which he has denounced several times. As I mentioned before, I have a whole 5-minute video showing him clearly denouncing David Duke, KKK, white supremacists, everything. But they're going to ask it every time, including in the most recent town hall where this Savannah chick was a complete Nazi activist and yelling at Trump when it's supposed to be a town hall and she's supposed to be professional. She has been roundly, denounced for her behavior, even from journalists. But it's gotten so cult-like, this so-called hate, but that's because CNN is all about whipping up hate and doing sound bites without showing people the full, because they know people will not research. They will not go look for the entire interview and the sentence after where he explains himself. And so we have a sheeple group of people who just want to believe what they want to believe, and they like being brainwashed by the very people that they claim are so racist, white journalists, white people. And so I love that, he points out, I offered this to both. I did not endorse any party. What I did was offer my plan to both, and only one party wanted to discuss with me now, a Black man in America, and that was not Biden.
And that's what I did. So I didn't run to nobody, and so that was real misleading to me.
Well, I didn't say you ran to anybody. I said that you had taken a pivot.
Well, you said I ran over to the Trump team instead of the Biden team. That's just not true.
But you are working with the Trump team instead of the Biden team, and people are giving you heat for it. What do you say to them?
Well, I'm willing to work with both teams, but I'm just working with whoever is willing to work with me. So the Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the contract with Black America, that's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very broad problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power and I'm going to speak to them about our problems specifically. I'm not going there talking about minorities. I'm not going there talking about people of color or diversity or none of that stuff. I'm going there for Black Americans, the ones who are the descendants of slaves. And that's what I'm going to talk to anybody who's in power with that. So if anybody got a problem with that, it seems like a personal problem.
And what I love about what Ice Cube said is that it's really, really important as we move forward that all Americans, regardless of race, begin to question authorities that seem to feel like they have them in their pocket. What I love about what Ice Cube said right there is that it's not about the political groups, it's not about the political parties. It's about who is going to listen to what I have to say and who is going to act on it. And unfortunately, what we keep hammering in as Black conservatives is that the Black community is very used to voting for a group of people who make promises, who pull out hot sauce in their bag, who pull out a saxophone like the Clintons, or who run to a Black church 3 weeks before the election to try to garner Black vote, because that's just how little they think of us. And unfortunately, that's how little we see ourselves, because they come and make these antics because they think we're clowns. And so they come and act like clowns, and they don't even make real promises, and they never follow through on them. And the Black community never holds them accountable. And so they have taken the Black vote for granted, rather than having this idea that I am just not going to intergenerationally vote because I have this fear mindset of racists, knowing that, or not knowing that, the people that you're actually voting for have been the most racist towards you, but having this idea that I'm important enough that what I feel is necessary for my community is valid, and I should be able to present those points to these political candidates and tell them that if you're going to do this, then you get my vote. But Black people are not presenting that. And maybe some are in terms of the so-called quote unquote leaders. They present these, 5 points, whatever, but they never follow through because they've been presenting the 5 points and the 5 demands for the past 40, 50 years, and it's not been coming through, and it's not produced better results in the community. And so I love that Ice Cube is standing up and saying it's not about personality, it's about program, it's about policy. And whoever is down for this policy is who I'm going to vote for.
Well, here's the problem, and it is very personal, as you know, for a lot of people of color, because they'll say, well, why would you pick Trump when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality?
I'm not picking nobody. He's the president.
But why do you think he'd want to do something for the community when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality?
And so, this is where, it's a prime example of why I don't watch CNN, but this is key to understanding the difference between independent minds and the difference between brainwashed sheep. Because the fact that he is asking, why would you suggest that, or why would you even work with Trump when he says there's not systemic racism, or basically that he's not done anything for the Black community? This is the stuff that kills me, because Black conservatives have been not talking about on facts, not talking on feelings and emotions, but we're talking on facts. When we talk about, the improvement zones, the billions and billions of dollars he's pumped into urban areas, when we talk about prison reform, when we talk about the lowest unemployment amongst Blacks in decades, when we talk about, the HBCUs, when we talk about his new and improved platinum plan for Black America that is detailed point by point. And he's already proven that what he said he was going to do, he's done. And the mainstream media keeps talking to the dumbed down, I guess, and I don't mean to insult people, but at this point in time, if you choose not to research for yourself, if you choose not to be engaged in this political process and see yourself as autonomous and not as a victim, then you're going to get what you got. And right now, you're getting brainwashed. The progress has already been laid out. The facts are there. Did Obama put an HBCU office in the White House? The first black president? Did he do that? No, he did not. There's many things that he could have done for the black community that he did not. Meanwhile, Trump has come in there and done what he needed to do and done what he said he would do. And it's quite the opposite what mainstream media is reporting about him. And at this point in time, I'm really losing respect for the non thinking mainstream media puppet Black American who refuses to do their own research and refuses to say, hey, so they said this about them. Let me go research that and actually look at it. Refuse. And I'm really getting to the point where I'm done. Because if you want to be an idiot, if you want to be led by your nose by a bunch of white racist liberals, then so be it. But you guys are the sellouts, not these people who are free thinking, independent ones. And you're the ones that calling us coons and sellouts and all these names. But when we look at you being led by people who are obviously lying to you, and you still will not get off their party line because you're so deeply brainwashed.
I don't know what he want to do. I just know what the man said. I know what he said to the country. I've never met Donald Trump. So I don't know what he's going to do. I just know what he said he was going to do. So both of them have a plan. Both of them say they're going to do something. And who knows what's really going to happen after November 3rd. Nobody knows from each side. We're all hoping that candidates keep their campaign promises. So that's just it.
So let's look at it this way. I think that you're right to be skeptical. Let's start with the Democrats, because even though there is a traditional connection between black voters and the Democrats.
And unfortunately, that is a disastrous connection for the past 50, 60 years, because it was LBJ that said he was going to get these niggers voting Democrat for the next 200 years by passing the Civil Rights Bill.
You could also say you've been let down or forgotten by Democrats in a lot of situations that would have mattered. Then you say, all right, so then what makes one side better than the other? That's where you get in trouble, which is, do you really think that Donald Trump can be trusted as much as you could trust Joe Biden?
Is he referring to the Joe Biden of the 1994 crime bill? Is he referring to the Joe Biden who had to step down from his presidential run, I believe in the 80s, because it was found out that he had plagiarized a lot of his speeches, as well as plagiarized during his college days? I have a video about that, which I will be showing later. Is he talking about the Joe Biden who said, "You ain't black," who's made numerous disparaging remarks about black people? Is he talking about the Joe Biden who lied about the Hunter Biden Ukraine connection and said he didn't know anything about it, when now we have actual files from Hunter's laptop that shows that not only did he know about it, that he was getting a kickback from the money that his son was getting from various foreign countries? He's talking about that Joe Biden, and he's a journalist. He has the right to say that. And then all of the lies that they've been spewing against Trump since day one, including the Russia collusion hot mess, which we now find out was Hillary Clinton inspired and that Obama knew about during the last election campaign. This Joe Biden?
I don't think I'm not trusting any of them. I'm just going by action. That's all I'm going by. I'm not going by words. I'm not going by rhetoric, not going by media spin, not going by none of that. You know, I'm not on nobody's team. I'm not on Team Blue, not on Team Red.
So then I have that wrong.
I'm an independent person, and I believe that's what black people need to do, is become independent, and we need to get something for our vote. You know, that may not happen, but it's gonna happen.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Look, if I had brought you here to fight with you, you would have known it. What I'm saying is, I think I did get it wrong, and I want to make sure I get it right. So saying you're working with the Trump.
And my greatest hope is that Black people in general, I know we're not a monolith. I know that there are many of us who are now conservatives or at least independent. Some of us are libertarians, but we need to grow up emotionally, psychologically, and just grow up in our humanity and in our critical thinking skills. And I don't mean that to be disparaging, but to be honest, the bottom line is we vote as a herd without ever demanding anything from these Democrats. We simply believe what they say, and we are proving them to be right about what they really think about Black people. And can I just say that I am completely annoyed by the sliminess of white liberals who are actually behaving in very paternalistic ways, but want to come and act as our friends. This guy Cuomo is very paternalistic. He's trying to slant the argument towards Biden and against Trump. And he's just trying to make sure that his Black sheep that watch his show realize that this independent thinking man who's bold enough to actually ask a political party or both parties, what do you have for the Black people? What are you going to do for us? How do you like this plan? What do you have to say about it? And he's using his power as an influencer in terms of being an entertainer who can actually reach these people and rather than the average Black person, and he's using that power for good, and he's being very independent. But this white liberal wants to show all of the Black people who are watching this CNN that he wants them to make sure that they know that he's not voting for Trump. He doesn't think Trump is a great guy. So make sure you guys don't get it twisted. Please keep voting for Biden. And that is so wicked because their only desire for this interview is to make sure that Black people stay in Democrats' pocket.
Team is wrong. What you did was, when they asked to talk to you about it, you said yes. If Biden had asked to talk to you about it now, you would have gone to them the same way. It's not about you choosing anything. It's you working with everybody who's got a chance of doing anything.
I'm working with whoever's in power. Yeah, I'll work with both. Whoever's in power, I'm going to work with. So whoever wins, they'll hear from me.
Okay, so I'm glad you
frequently.
came to clear it up. So Ice Cube is not with the Trump campaign. He's just giving his ideas, and anybody who wants to do something with him.
Did I not call that? I told you exactly what he was doing.
Fine. Do you believe they are doing anything with your ideas?
I believe, they looked at the contract with Black America and they updated their plan. But it's their plan. I have my plan. My plan is broad. It goes beyond the public sector. It goes into the private sector. Banks, even the movie industry. So we got to deal with a lot of different, companies, corporations, and even government when it comes to solving this problem. I believe it's a bipartisan problem. I believe it's a bipartisan problem when it comes to the issues, when it comes to Blacks in America and what's going on. It's not a Democrat problem. It's not for them to solve. It's not for the Republicans to solve. It's for both of them to solve. They do it when it comes to debt ceiling. They do it when it comes to getting us in wars. They seem to come together when it's something that really affects America. And I don't think nothing affects America more than the situation that Black Americans find ourselves in. This country is coming apart at the seams, and it's not going to come together after January 3rd, no matter who's the president, unless we deal with this wealth gap.
You have the economics. All of it extends from poverty, which is an extension of opportunity, which is an extension of a system that doesn't give equal opportunity, and you see it everywhere. Hiring, education, finance.
False, because we have seen more gains in the 2000s and the 2010s than any other generations. We've literally had a two-term Black president. We have more Black-owned businesses starting up than ever before. We had more opportunities under Trump than even under Obama. We had the lowest Black unemployment rates since forever. So to keep pummeling this idea that Black people are being systemically discriminated against is yet again feeding this ideology that Black people have to stay as victims. And we're going to get into the question of culture, but I want Ice Cube to say what he's got to say, and then I'll be back.
So acutely, we've been looking at what happens when policing goes wrong in communities. It doesn't give you concern that the president has handled police violence the way he has in terms of his commitment to work on any of the issues that you think are important?
So before we go there, I thought I would show you this screenshot of the real statistics of police brutality in this country. I understand that police brutality, racism, white supremacy is the golden goose that white liberals have used for 50 something years. But the reality is we have the statistics, and I know that both this leftist activist, so called journalist, as well as Ice Cube are about to go back into the same old narrative that the main thing that is bothering Black America is the police brutality as opposed to Black on Black crime. So let's go into the narrative.
We've been dealing with police violence in this country from day one. So police violence is just part of our life here. So, the thing is this, once we get some capital, we'll be treated better. This is a capitalistic society.
True.
And if you ain't got no money, you see how people get treated on the streets when they ain't got no money.
Now we're getting somewhere, but where I disagree with Ice Cube is when we're discussing the wealth gap, we also tend to forget that I believe the latest statistics were that had Black Americans been their own country, they'd be the 15th richest country on the globe. So it's not a matter of Black people not having access to wealth or not having wealth, but the fact is that wealth is passing through the Black community and through the Black community's hands because the priorities are wrong. And here is where we really need to get to the crux of it. Because even with various programs that Ice Cube is presenting, or, Trump with his platinum plan, if we have the same culture and the same mentality of not respecting the power of wealth and the value of building wealth for your family, the money will continue to pass through our hands, which is very unlike the, Hispanic and or the Asian communities. They understand how to maintain and build wealth.
Just money, wealth. You got to be able to build up wealth within the community.
Yeah, to put it in greater terms. But, at the bottom line is, dollars bring dignity. And so everybody in America knows that. When you got a little more money, they treat you a little better. So we need to close this wealth gap. You got people, families making $120,000 or worth $120,000, and you got Black families worth $200. It's just an enormous wealth gap.
Again, if we don't value wealth and don't value delayed gratification, when we talk about the wealth gap and that the average Black family has a wealth of about $200 as opposed to $120,000 for the average white family. But you have to understand, when Black people get money, what do they do with it? And you can't keep peddling the same story that all Black people live in the hood, that all Black people don't have access to income, that all Black people have terrible credit. We've really got to stop lumping all Black people into one category which has disastrous statistics. The bottom line is, one thing that is very clear across the board is that there is a cultural issue. There is a cultural difference between various different cultures in this country. And this is where I want to share with you the importance of reading or listening for free on YouTube the audio version of Thomas Sowell's Black rednecks and white liberals, because in the middle of the book, he has an essay where he talks about the middleman, and he literally goes into very detailed descriptions of different middlemen communities in various countries. Here you would see the Asians who are immigrants who come in, and they come in with basically, the shoes and the clothes on their backs, but they manage to put their nose to the ground, and they work 18, 20-hour days. They save more than they spend. And they eventually, over the years, build up enough capital to purchase a store and stocks and whatnot. They have family coming in helping them, who don't get paid a salary in terms of employees, but they save up enough money so that within a few years, that family member can then open up their shop. They live collectively. There are so many cultural practices that are super important for building wealth when you're starting from nothing. But Black people tend to, in America, constantly talk about a handout, I need this, I need that, and want to work as less as possible. I'm just saying, for a vast majority, I'm not saying all, but they want an easy way out because that's the way they've been trained by the Democrats. But hard work, saving, delayed gratification, valuing education, ensuring that your children are getting a proper education and sticking by it and making sure that they excel. Like there's not a question of it, it's an automatic must. And this is how generations build themselves up. But unfortunately, even after the past 100 years, it's turned into the situation where Black people will tell other Black people, hey, if you're trying to succeed, if you're trying to be educated, if you're speaking, proper English, you're trying to be white. These are all cultural issues. And so, not being able to live together for long without lots of fights, not being able to pool money together, not being able to trust one another, having all these pro Black discussions about unity, but at the end of the day, they can't even, duplicate or replicate what the Asians do when they pool their money together. Several family members of different generations live in the same home. Same with many Mexican families. They've done that to save and pool their money together. Black people have a very difficult time doing that. So, no matter what program you're going to create, if you still have this culture of division, which has got to be a personal decision to lift yourself out of that and put others before yourself, then until that happens, all of these different programs and incentives are for naught. And that's really the crux of the situation, which I think that Ice Cube is missing.
It keeps growing. It's not getting smaller. Do the research, and you'll see this is the problem in America. It's because Black people have no capital. We own half of a point when it comes to all the wealth in America. Half of a point. 13.5% people living off half of a point. We cannot survive in America another 100 years living like this.
The issue is real. The problem is properly identified. They do have access to capital of about $500 billion, but it doesn't say that it would be earmarked within the Trump plan for communities.
Again, lies. That was an absolute falsehood. If you go to the Trump website and pull up the Platinum plan, there is exact amounts that are earmarked for the Black community. And I cannot believe that in this day, at the mid-October, that this man has the nerve to say that though there's money earmarked, he's not sure if it's for the Black community. Are you kidding me? This is the type of disinformation and misinformation that CNN pulls in order to keep Black people dumb and deaf.
Of color. But we'll see what you can get done, and I make you this promise. Not just because I'm a fan, but the issue matters. As you learn and as you see action and reaction or inaction, you have a place on this show to discuss it. That's a guarantee.
I appreciate it, Chris. Yeah, I'll be back to discuss and let you know what I know, what I find out. But I'm gonna give it to you straight up.
It's the only way I take it.
Side.
It doesn't go well any other way on this show. Ice Cube, I wish you the best. Stay healthy. Be well.
So there you have it. That was my take on the Ice Cube interview. with CNN Cuomo, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you enjoy this content, I have so much more coming, and I'm super excited to share these commentaries with you. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you think about this. Let me know, how you feel about Ice Cube. Is he on the right track? How do you feel about CNN? I'd love to discuss. Please hit that subscribe and definitely share, because we understand just how big the censorship is right now in big tech. And my daughter is here in the background, so never mind. But I definitely want you to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and definitely, follow up with more videos that are coming in the future. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.